Time for another hashtag crypto trading video. And I meant to do this information in last night's. And I started talking about what I've gotten written on the screen, and I never even got into what I really wanted to talk about. So I will here. And when I started trading in the earlier part of this year, one of the many things that went through my head was, this trading against Bitcoin is going to be a lot different in a few levels, but mainly that of you're trying to get in and out of a base currency that is very bullish. And in stocks, well, they've been going up, and yeah, they're going to go through big down retracements, and they're overextended now. But they generally should go higher because you're pricing it in dollars. But then I also think, too, as well, imagine having Amazon as a base currency in the stock market, the stocks that is, and then trading the other stocks against it and increasing your Amazon value that way. That would be almost the same way because, well, quite frankly, Amazon has been destroying the stock market. Let's take a look at that chart. And this is the daily time frame to start off. And I can only show this for so long because I'm allergic to markets with the wild gap opens and such. And I'm kidding, but just felt like saying such. And okay, uptrend, sideways consolidation. Doesn't seem much bullish about this, like it's destroying the market. But you know what, though? A lot of bullish charts will have to consolidate, and well, longer term, it most certainly is. And we can see here on the 5-day chart, weekly chart, there's your sideways consolidation for what has been a very good bullish pattern. A lot of significant higher highs along the way. So when it's ready to go, I can't say that like I would with cryptos, but I'm just used to saying that when markets finish these consolidations, they just go. But Amazon's had some good bullish rides along the way as well. Let's take a look at this on the monthly chart. And there's what much more is there to be said. It was in 2006, a few dozen to buy. And I'm sure it was different with price adjustments here and there, but mathematical percentage accumulations, it's all the same. 2008 high, you go from about 100 down to about 30 something, 35. Well, 35 into 1,000, we're now talking about close to a 30x gain. Pretty phenomenal, to say the least. But so has Bitcoin been as well. So this is the whole point, and what I'm saying is if you were to be able to trade other stocks like Apple against Amazon and Microsoft against Amazon and short the financials against Amazon or whatever it is you're looking to do, then maybe you could increase your Amazon total that way, but you really can't do that. However, what's doing better, Amazon or Bitcoin? What would it look like if Amazon was actually traded against Bitcoin? Well, a few days ago, I put up some charts, or I made some charts, and let's present them, starting with what the daily chart would look like if Amazon was priced in Bitcoin. And this is a very roughly, quickly designed chart. But this would span the last 125 days or so as of about last Friday. And it's obviously been in a downtrend from 1/2 of a Bitcoin down to about 0.2, around that area there. But it's doing a lot better than a lot of the other cryptocurrencies have been doing. After all, with Amazon at around 990, I think it's most likely that Amazon will reach $1,000 before any other crypto that is not Bitcoin that will reach 1,000. And I say that on simple math because what's the closest? Ethereum at about 300, or Bitcoin Cash, or I really shouldn't say that. I'm sure there's a few cryptos worth like a few thousand when there's only like 100 of them. Anyway, Amazon is in a downtrend against Bitcoin. Let's look at this on a weekly chart. Straight down, straight down. At one point, about a little over 100 weeks ago, so that'd be about 2 years ago, in 2015, in the end part, around November 2015, price action, seen Amazon worth more than twice as much as Bitcoin. Therefore, basically selling at many of these points your Amazon stocks for Bitcoin turned out to be a profitable play. And on the 3-week time frame, well, obvious story again. Amazon's been in a beautiful bull market, but it shows here that Bitcoin has been in a much larger one, at least as far as volatility, because they're both in tremendous secular bull markets when it's all said and done. But if we think about this again and go back to the Amazon chart again, we're going to look back here when this was at a much larger level. I'm looking at numbers in here around 25. So 100 periods ago, 300 weeks ago. That would be about 5.5 years ago. So we're looking at about the start of 2012. Let's go back to the Amazon chart. And we're looking back at prices of around, we'll say a couple $100 per share. And you're having a discussion with somebody, and Jason and Steven, or just insert 2 random names. One random name says to the other, you know what, this whole ride with Amazon that we got in on, say when we got in at 110, it's been working out well. After all, we're seeing price action currently in at 200. We're up almost double. I'm thinking, one might be saying, of selling my Amazon stock and buying Bitcoin. How do you think that's going to turn out? No, you're crazy, man. This is in a huge bull market. This thing is going to ride crazy in a few years. This thing is going to 1,000. Okay, well, I'm still going to do it. And well, he was right, or she was right. It went to 1,000. But as we've seen, Bitcoin so far has outperformed even that of Amazon. Now here's a perfect example with Dash on the daily time frame. We're basically looking at a year-to-date chart. This is against the Tether, which practically, like the SLV and the GLD, pretending to be what it's supposed to be. The Tether is pretending to be that of the US dollar, which is also pretending to be that as of money, quote unquote, in my opinion, in my research of what I see money as. And well, of course, money, historically gold, silver, and all that type of stuff. We're on a dollar standard now. We have been since before I was born. Anyway, Dash, look, I mean, you're talking about normal trading. I mean, this is just a good thing to get into. But when Bitcoin is your base currency, it makes the game a little bit more difficult. But what we're seeing overall after this beautiful gain at the start of the year, it's consolidating these gains within this uptrend. That's a beautiful situation. Let's take a look at this baby priced in Bitcoin. Because in this situation, as I stated, it consolidated the gains up to March this way. How did Bitcoin consolidate those gains? Well, let's bring that chart up. Oh, there's the gains here. It's done it sideways. It's done it a lot differently. And this is going to show you how much more difficult it is to make gains on these trades and how much significant these moves down can occur, because you're trading this in a situation against that of a base currency rising in value. But with that being stated, let's just assume that you bought in at where's a good situation to go here? Let's just say you bought in right here at the start of May. You'd be down a little bit if you bought around the 75 handle, but priced in the dollar, that would have been like buying this at around 100 start of May, and now it's in at 300 almost. Hey, that's about triple. Not that shabby, pretty good, but not as good as Bitcoin, obviously. And then you take a code like ZEC, a typical crypto wild moving code like this. And for the year, it's pretty much break even, so we know it's up against the dollar pretty good. However, it had a huge gain, which meant that it really did good against the dollar. But this means anything you've been holding of this thing back in here has you in a losing position as far as your Bitcoin number, or you would have been better off holding Bitcoin other than this. So what does ZEC look like priced in the dollar? And within such, it's had a nice sideways correctionary move, sort of like Dash has had against Bitcoin. Okay? There's your sideways consolidation. But for the year, this thing was down as low as $26, lower than such at the end of February. And it started the year roughly at around 40-ish or so. So 40-ish to about 237. That's pretty, 4 times 5 is 200. So about 6 times gain, yeah. I would be interested. How many stocks are up more than 5 times this year? I'm sure there's a decent amount, maybe. But this is just like a whatever kind of code. Ethereum has been an interesting one for the year, and I'm not doing a year to whatever thing. But let's put that one up. After all, for the year, all it's done against the Bitcoin price is go from about 0.01 to about 0.06 so far. So it has basically done about 6x better than Bitcoin for the year, with a monstrous gain amongst this rally. In here, one monster gain, and then a beautiful set of about 4 or 5, 6 higher highs, higher lows in this situation. But a very long sideways downwards consolidation. This key level of support has been now taken out. With that, it is now a newly declining average, which is breaking its support level, and price action a bit below it. But how does this thing look against the price of the dollar? Well, let's take a look. Well, it was about $8, $9, 10 at the start of the year. It's at 300 now. So how many stocks this year have about a 30x gain? Maybe we'll go 24 or higher in the same realm. Yeah, I don't know if there would be any. But I'd be interested to hear, of course. I would have to know different situations like volume. Maybe it's got to be worth at least $1 at the start of the year, or 50 cents, or 2 cents. I don't think any stock would have had that kind of gain. And really, when it comes down to it, I think a lot of the reason why these markets are going up, why people are getting into it, is because their currency, whether it be a US dollar or any of the other ones, are very fragile and very, very fiat. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day.